points a game, and he would become USA Basketball's all-time leading scorer in Olympic play.
It's interesting, Mark, looking at that Argentine starting lineup. 4 of the 5 starters today were on the team that won Olympic gold in 2004.
Chandler will jump against Luis Scola. And we are underway in Barcelona 20 years after the original Dream Team. Bryant on the wing, guarded by Delfino. LeBron on the drive, took the contact. Durant for 3, knocks it down. Kevin Durant continues to remain hot.
USA went pick and roll right there. LeBron had a mismatch on Prigioni. He's impossible to keep out of the lane in that situation.
Remember, this is a shorter three-point line. Ginobili misses underneath. Chandler made him change that shot, and here's LeBron in transition. United States, as you mentioned, speed the key. They're looking to run. Durant going to try another 3, and the same result.
Very similar start to the game Friday night for Argentina. They got blitzed 33-13 in that first quarter versus Spain.
Chris Paul really pressing up on Prigioni. Nocioni guarded by LeBron James. Those two have had some battles going back to their NBA days.
Team USA switching on the perimeter against that flex offense by Argentina.
And Chris Paul comes up with a steal. You mentioned the other day against Great Britain, Kobe inside gets the layup to go in a quick 8-0 blitzkrieg by the United States. You said that Coach K didn't show a lot defensively. He held back a little bit, right?
I think you have to in these friendly contests, as they're called, exhibition games, because they really don't matter. I mean, you want to play well, but you don't want to tactically show your cards too early.
That's going to be a foul against Tyson Chandler. Of course, the flip side is, friend, you want to establish a little bit of confidence and continuity, right?
That's very true, Mark. And a coach, it's an art form where a coach needs to make sure his team is sharp in running their offenses and defenses without giving too much away tactically.
Luis Scola will go to the free throw line, the newest member of this Phoenix Suns, 32 years old. A couple of years ago, he averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds for the Houston Rockets. They amnestied him in hopes of trying to acquire, well, everybody is, Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Well, he's going to team up with former Rocket guard Goran Dragic in Phoenix, and I know there's a comfort level there because Luis Scola really loves Dragic's game.
Just underway here in the first quarter. I'm Mark Jones along with Fran Fraschilla. Now we see a zone defense by Argentina.
Interesting. They played some zone Friday night. See, I think Team USA will see a lot of zone in the Olympic Games.
Well, they continue to shred that defense. Now 11-1 as Kobe Bryant knocks down a 3. You got the feeling that this Argentina squad has the USA's attention. Ginobili off the mark. Nocioni with the rebound. Here's Delfino with the 3 ball, and he misses as well. Argentina off to a really cold shooting start. Durant looking for his 3rd 3, and he gets it. 14-1 beginning for the United States. And Mike Krzyzewski seems to have pressed all the right buttons.
Kevin Durant 3 for 3, and we saw in 2010 at the World Championships, Mark, how comfortable he is from the international three-point line, about 1.5 feet closer than the NBA line.
Ginobili with the inbound. Here's Prigioni, dogged once again by Chris Paul. See what Argentina runs coming out of this timeout. And they get turned over, the second turnover, and Bryant with the slam.
I mentioned that start Friday night, Mark. Argentina was spanked by Spain, and you just wonder if we're watching the end of a dynasty right now.
Nice give and go, though. That time, Ginobili with the finish from Scola. Was the start worse than this for Argentina?
Pretty close. You know, 61-36 by halftime. 20-point deficit at the end of the first quarter. Of course, Spain hit 14 threes in that game.
Here's Bryant. His second 3 ball is good. You said Spain hit how many threes? 14. USA might get that by halftime if they keep this up. They've got 5 already. Scola well defended by Tyson Chandler. And here's Chris Paul, 19-3 sprint to begin the game by the United States. A whistle and a foul. That's going to be against Luis Scola. Scola, one of the more physical players that these guys will go up against.
Take a look at Scola right there. I tell you what, he got into it with Ibaka of Spain on Friday night at the end of the third quarter. Scola not afraid, as you mentioned, to throw his weight around.
Former Spanish League ACB MVP. Chris Paul left wide open from downtown, and he has their first miss of the game. Little pick and roll. Prigioni inside. Nice dish to Delfino. Tipped out and kept alive, and Argentina turns it over. Delfino couldn't corral that pass, and want to mention at this time maybe a lack of continuity on his part, or maybe catching up a little bit, because he recently left the team for a few days, about 4 or 5 days, rejoined them just recently due to the birth of twins, his wife.
Kind of ironic. Manu Ginobili, he had twins. He and his wife had twins last spring. It's the reason he didn't play in FIBA Americas qualifying.
Twin boys. Couple of consecutive misses. And here comes Argentina. And Scola with the finish at the other end, the lead down to 14.
Important for Team USA right now to stay on that throttle. You see Argentina trying to slow down USA, going to that 2-3 zone.
The United States has had a lot of success, Fran, against that zone defense, putting LeBron in the middle just like that, right?
It's a great point, Mark, because he's such a great playmaker from the middle of the zone. Take a look. He cuts inside. Good tactical move by Coach K. We've seen him do it throughout the exhibition tours.
LeBron James will go to the free throw line. He's been one of the leading scorers for the United States. That foul against who else when LeBron is involved? Nocioni. His first personal foul.
Well, that's a little inside story there. You got to elaborate on that. Well, they've been nemesis.
Going back to 2004, 2005. Nocioni's first year with the Chicago Bulls. He and LeBron had more than a couple of confrontations on the court, due largely in part to the fact that Nocioni is so competitive. You know, he's not used to that code. He just plays hard. LeBron leaves the second one short as well. It was LeBron James that rescued the United States in Washington, D.C. against Brazil a couple of games ago.
Good pressure by Chris Paul on Prigioni. Team USA has a lineup right now that they can switch all 5 positions essentially.
Carmelo Anthony checked into the ball game during the last whistle, and they turn over Nocioni. Argentina gets it back, and there should have been a shot clock reset, but they didn't get it, and it's a shot clock violation.
Right, I think the officials felt that neither team really ever had possession of the ball, so the shot clock continued to run. Let's take a look now. There's the ball. It's knocked loose. I don't think Carmelo, is that LeBron? See, he never has possession of the ball. It's a good call.
Argentina here, Fran, back in a man defense. Carmelo Anthony working against Scola. And Melo a little bit strong, and United States has ground to a halt a little bit here on the offensive end. Of course, you couldn't expect them to keep up that frenetic, efficient start. Kicked out of bounds by LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Darren Williams will check into the ball game for Coach K. The United States started off a perfect 7 for 7. They've missed their last 4. As Chris Paul goes to the bench.
But we're watching a team, Mark, without really any inside low post scoring that's reliant on jump shooting and also transition basketball.
Scola trying to post up Carmelo Anthony. That's going to be a foul against Carmelo. Scola has one of the best below-the-rim games, Fran, in the entire NBA.
Oh, I agree. He gets you with the up and under move. He knows how to use his body. Take a look. You see Westbrook digging down a little bit. But, you know, Scola, you mentioned, Mark, how impressive he's been. He averaged 27 points a game in the World Championships in 2010. The leading scorer in the entire tournament.
United States gives up another offensive rebound. Prigioni and Scola running the 2-man game. And Luis Scola knocks it down. The lead is down to 12. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Argentina looking for a little rhythm. They go back to a zone defense. Darren Williams pulls the trigger.
That's the danger of shooting too many jump shots. Now you'll say, well, they've got a lot of great shooters on Team USA, but I still believe that one way that they can really stub their toe in the Olympics is the night where the jump shooting goes cold. So you want to attack from the inside out when you can.
Russell Westbrook is all over Ginobili, who splits that double team, and that's going to be a reaching foul against the United States. Looked like Darren Williams gets whistled for the foul. Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule for the United States national team. They'll take on Spain next, 4:30 Eastern time on ESPN2 with the Gasol brothers, Serge Ibaka of the Thunder, Jose Calderon, who's been, friend, you saw him play against this Argentina team. Calderon's been playing well. He of the Raptors.
He has been playing well. This is a 3-team round-robin tournament here in Barcelona. Argentina played Spain on Friday night. Today's game is, we're playing it right now, and then Team USA will finish with Spain on Tuesday. And these are the 1, 2, and 3 ranked teams in the world.
United States number 1, of course, and Spain number 2, Argentina number 3. Ginobili knocks it down, and it's a 6-0 run for Argentina, who trail by just 10. Argentina, friends, switching up their defenses a lot, right?
Well, they are. They're in a 2-3 zone right now. Let's see if Team USA can play through the lane instead of just relying on jump shots.
Russell Westbrook fouled on the play. That foul is going to go against number 9, Juan Gutierrez. That's his first personal foul. Big fella plays in the Argentine Professional League.
And at times he'll start at center. They'll bring Delfino off the bench today. Coach Lamas chose to go with the smaller lineup with Scola at the center spot.
Russell Westbrook at the free throw line had a great season, made all NBA this year out of the Oklahoma City Thunder crew, and had himself that real indelible game, that 40-point game against the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. You know, there's so much debate as to whether he's a point guard, a shooting guard. Some people think that he doesn't set up his teammates enough. Your read on that, friend?
You know what? He keeps both teams in the game, but he keeps your team in the game far more than he keeps the other team in the game, Mark. The guy is just an outstanding talent. You know what? An incredible competitor, too.
We saw him in that Brazil game a few nights ago in Washington, D.C. really turn up the defensive pressure on a couple of guards, especially Huertas of Brazil, and got a bunch of turnovers off it. It's going to be another foul against the United States. It's against Westbrook, his first.
I'm laughing. You know what I'm thinking, right? These guys have been together so long, these Argentines. Nano's still a pretty good actor.
He does know how to embellish a little bit. Carmelo Anthony with the bucket. It's 23-9. United States leading by 14. Remember, they play 4 10-minute periods in FIBA basketball. Three-point line is a little bit shorter than what you're used to seeing in the National Basketball Association. Prigioni with 5 on the shot clock into Scola. Scola losing the handle, throws up a wild shot, and Gutierrez almost got the putback whistle. And well, you're seeing evidence of why people think that FIBA basketball is a little bit more physical, bodies strewn across the paint.
I had a hard time explaining that to my American friends until they started watching FIBA. You know, the NBA's really cleaned up the hand checking and the physical play inside, Mark. Unfortunately, FIBA hasn't caught up yet in that regard.
Right.
They do allow a lot of contact. It takes some getting used to. But you give credit to guys like LeBron and Kevin Durant, guys who played international basketball. They're used to it now.
Fred, you mentioned a good point there. I mean, it goes back to 2004, where now the United States, from a philosophical standpoint, know how to play FIBA. Is that right?
Very much so. Much better feel for the rules, for the flow of the game. You know, LeBron's playing in, what, his 54th game, 55th international game.
Russell Westbrook missing another 3, and now the United States missing those 3-point shots.
Now, this is the one concern now. When you play a 40-minute game in the Olympics and it's a knockout round, you don't want to just be relying on jump shots.
Nocioni missing inside, got his tip back to go. And Argentina trailing by 12 with just under 2 minutes to go now in the first quarter. Williams, and he's going to be called for a traveling violation.
Well,
that's the first turnover by the United States.
I'm laughing because it's the old rule, the FIBA rule. You gotta, if you're Darren Williams, you really can't catch that ball on the run because FIBA officials feel you've got to let the ball go before you pick up your pivot foot.
Ginobili with the long jumper. Kevin Love kept it alive, and here's Westbrook coming back the other way. And that's going to be a foul against Nocioni, much to the dismay of the Argentina coach, Julio Lamas. That's the second foul against Noc.
And Noc almost, now he knows that's a second foul, but you'll see the international players foul in transition so that you don't get an easy fast break. But I'm not sure that's a foul Noc necessarily wanted to pick up. He'll be back playing for Caja Laboral this year in Vitoria, Spain, one of the great European teams in basketball.
Approaching a minute to go here in the first quarter. 14-point United States lead. Once again, Argentina going to Scola on the block, and he draws the foul from a dismayed Carmelo Anthony. A puzzled look etched across his countenance after that call.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski's going small with this lineup, and this is what you're going to see when Spain plays Team USA on Tuesday, Mark. You're going to see guys like Pau and Marc Gasol post up the smaller USA forwards if they can get away with it.
Folks, get your official USA basketball team gear now on NBAstore.com. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and a lot more. NBAstore.com, your official destination for all things basketball. And friend, back to that point that you just brought up, just how vulnerable are they against the Spanish team with the two Gasol brothers? What's the point and counterpoint there?
Well, the point is that Spain has a guy inside, particularly in Pau Gasol, who's very effective in the low post. The counterpoint for Team USA is they could be quicker on the perimeter and quicker in transition, but it's going to become a chess match. And Pau Gasol, very, very good at posting up in FIBA basketball.
Kevin Love couldn't find the handle on that hot pass by Russell Westbrook. 13-point the United States lead. Prigioni feeds it inside. Gutierrez fouled by Kevin Love. That's going to be the first foul on Love. There's a guy, friend, that how surprised are you by his lack of participation right now in playing time?
Well, remember, one of those games he was in foul trouble. Another game was a blowout. But I think Kevin Love really is a really good antidote to a couple of the teams next week in London that do have big guys, because he can hold his own inside, rebound the basketball, but he's also a threat on the offensive end, particularly from the perimeter, Mark. I expect him to be valuable in London.
Talk about from the perimeter. Kevin Love was the NBA All-Star Weekend three-point shooting champ. A double-double machine this year for the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's Durant. He continues to sizzle. He's automatic. He's got 4 three-pointers already.
Well, that three-point line in FIBA basketball is right up his alley. That's a mid-range jump shot for Kevin Durant.
Argentina should have a pretty good scouting report on him. Gutierrez with a nice show and go, double teamed. Nice pass by Ginobili, and Scola with the sweet finish inside. You see some of that chemistry that Argentina has with the core players. Scola now with 8. 10 seconds to go in the first. Looking at his zone defense. They get it to Durant, little contact. Williams, it'll count if it goes, and it does. The United States making its last 2 three-point attempts as the sun goes down in Barcelona. First quarter in the books.